We just got more info about Wilds, so like always, let's quickly go through it. Let's start with the 13 changes that Games Radar points out in their article. Wounding monsters is a lot easier now. Here they mention that the new wounding system merges loosely both the bursts from afflicted monsters from Rise and the Clutch Claw system from World. Wounds will naturally appear on monsters as you fight them, marked by red scout flies gathering on specific body parts. And if you deal enough damage to those wounds, you'll get a similar shot of bonus damage. Focus mode lets you focus on fighting the monster, not the camera. It's not a lock-on camera setting, but rather a way to set your angle related to the monster more easily than you could before. Not sure what this means, but this makes it easier to stay focused on attacking or defending, and that there are no limits on focus mode either. It's not tied to a resource like stamina, so you can use it as much as you want. I still have no idea how this will work, but let's keep going. Every weapon has at least one new attack. I think all of us expected this. I also saw a different article talking about the game not having any new weapons, but I'll make a video about that later. NPC hunters are back. Hell yeah. I really like this feature from Rise. I think it's really cool to have an NPC hunter with us from time to time. Remember how Monster Hunter Rise lets you go on hunts with loads of story characters? Well, I don't know if Wilds also lets you pal around with story characters, but it does let you call in some NPC cavalry if you want some help and don't have any friends online. Bringing two weapons is no gimmick. We already know about this, but I want to read this part here. I would say that as the story progresses, players will be able to gain access to skills or features that will tie into this new system of using two different weapons at the same time. Quests are seamless now. When our demo player finished a hunt, they didn't get yanked out of the area. You can just stay in the world if you want and find more things to hunt. I really like this. We can just go on a killing spree without having to go to the village. Even more excitingly, we didn't see a begin quest prompt until we actually attack the monster, which suggests to me that the quest timer doesn't start ticking the second you enter an area anymore. Pretty cool stuff, but I like this one next even more. You can build temporary camps and monsters can destroy them. This is going to be such a cool feature. I'm curious to see later how camps will work in multiplayer. Will we have a bunch of camps laying around or just the host camps? Let me know what you think about this. Maps are twice the size of previous games. Pretty nice. And since they say maps, I guess it's not an open world game after all. Dynamic weather is not messing around. This is nice, but here's the part I want to focus on. The lightning charged flying wyvern shown in the previous trailer, which is the apex predator of the Windward Plains map we are shown, will only spawn naturally during thunderstorms. This is going to be interesting. No storm, no cool monster to kill for his gear. Mantles are back. I'm going to be honest, I wasn't expecting this. For now, only the Gilly Mantle is confirmed to be in the game. Let me know what other mantles you would like to see in the game. Sneak attacks are kinda good. I think this is somewhat replacing the Clutch Claw Wall Slam from World with a more interesting idea. Mounting is back to normal. I actually liked wyvern riding, but after a while it became a bit annoying and I ended up turning it off and I would just let my fellow hunters do it. I'm happy it's back to how it was before. And that's all for this article, but I have a couple of other things I want to tell you guys about from this other article from IGN. I want to talk about the last 3 points. If you want to read the rest, I'll leave all the links in the description. But let's start with the Palicos. They gave us a reason as to why they talk now. There are so many different environmental changes and things happening in real time. And as support characters, the Palico and the Handler having voices helps the player to understand what's happening. Which, it makes sense. But the most important part, not really for me, but for a bunch of you out there. And of course, you can also have it as meows, as in previous titles. So yes, you'll be able to turn it off. Next, they tell us that the Bogans will see changes as well as the Hunting Horn. The Hunting Horn is going back to a world basis of the action. But on top of that, it's also introduced a lot of other changes. So the Hunting Horn is changing once again. I'll be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of Rise's Hunting Horn. Something felt odd to me, so I'm happy it's going back to what it was in World. And lastly, and something that can be concerning for some of you, can you play through the story in co-op together seamlessly? Which Tokuda answers, there are going to be story elements in the game when you're playing that you have to witness in solo mode before you can actually play together. So you won't be able to play perfectly together in sync throughout the story with other players. But we made it a lot more convenient and we've introduced new features in the game, so in the background you're always connected. And so as soon as you're able to go into a quest together, it matches you up quickly and you can seamlessly go back into multiplayer gameplay. This can be a bit concerning since this is one of the biggest problems that World has. But they say they made it more convenient, so we'll have to wait and see. This doesn't bother me as much since I always play the game solo, but for those of you that play with friends, this is something you'll have to keep an eye out. And that's all for today. If you liked the video, like and subscribe, consider supporting me directly by becoming a member, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.